What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Thanks for clicking on another episode of Break the Silence. I am your host, Cyborg, and we just got done watching the Boston Celtics destroy the Charlotte Hornets 114-99, a game that wasn't even as close as the final score indicates. The Boston Celtics were without Jaylen Brown and Derrick White tonight, but got monster performances from Jayson Tatum and Payton Prichard. This Celtics team has been highly impressive. We know that the Hornets have been really hot over the last few months, been one of the best teams, honestly, in the NBA and really turned their season around. We thought the Hornets were going to be a tough matchup for anyone in the first round of the playoffs if they are able to make it out of the play-in. But tonight, the Boston Celtics flexed their muscles after beating obviously a great Oklahoma City Thunder team the other night who was at full strength. This Celtics team has been so impressive, and I was really wrong about them coming into the season. If you look back, I had a video where I was talking, I'm a Celtics fan, by the way, talking about how sad and depressing it was to see Tatum go down with his Achilles injury and to know that a team that I thought was going to be a dynasty lost Kristaps Porzingis, Drew Holiday, and Tatum and Al Horford all in the same offseason. And that this year we were going to be playing guys like Luka Garza, Jordan Walsh, Queta, and Baylor Shireman. But those guys have all been incredible for the Boston Celtics, and I couldn't have been more wrong. So tonight, the Celtics didn't have, like I said, Jaylen Brown, Derrick White, and you're playing against a quality basketball team, and the Celtics time and time again are just continuing to flex how well coached they are and how deep they are with really, really impressive performances from, guys that you hadn't heard of very much coming into this season. Now, obviously, Jayson Tatum tonight gave you 32, 8, and 5, and that'll play on any night. I saw a lot of criticism in social media about, is Jayson Tatum the same guy? Is he ever going to be the same? Is he going to recover? That's all nonsense. The guy just came back from an Achilles injury, and he's picking up speed. But 32 points on 12 of 23 from the field, that'll play. He's been rebounding the ball at a high level, and we know that just because of his sheer size, athleticism, and intelligence, he's going to add a little bit to the defensive end of the court in comparison to some of the guys that he's playing over. Payton Prichard tonight had 28, 6, and 6. Now that's a guy that came in and was struggling to get minutes because the Celtics were so deep at the point guard position, or the guard position kind of in general. But man, he has really taken a step forward, and on the season is averaging 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. And we know he's great from the three-point line, or we know he's great from the three-point line. He's great at taking deep shots, half-court shots, and just really a huge momentum player. He loves those big spots. So coming into the season, I had my doubts about this squad, but they have really, really proven me wrong. And all the credit in the world goes to Joe Mazulla and the coaching job that he's done. In his first year, I was really sad when we lost Ime Udoka. I thought he did a good job in getting us to the NBA Finals, even though we lost against the Golden State Warriors. And you think, holy crap, we just lost our coach a few months before the season, that off season with the, scandal we had. We don't got to get into it, but you lose your coach and you just pick someone off your coaching staff in Joe Mazulla, a guy who, is young, kind of had some different way of seeing the game, wasn't really calling timeouts, pretty innovative kind of guy, and you're not sure that that's always going to work. And it didn't seem like it was that first season. But man, have they turned it around. Obviously, they won that championship over the Dallas Mavericks, but that was a dominant basketball team. And the way that the roster was constructed with Brad Stevens being one of the best GMs in the sport, probably him and Sam Presti of the Thunder, but the way that the roster was constructed, you were like, holy smokes, this team is going to be good for a really long time. And then all of a sudden, it seemed like it was falling apart. Jayson Tatum tore his Achilles. Kristaps Porzingis was having some sort of illness that they still haven't really figured out what's going on. He's obviously in Golden State now after being traded to Atlanta. Drew Holiday, who is a great playoff performer, really good defender, smart basketball player, veteran, getting rid of him, and Al Horford choosing to leave because he thought he had a better chance to win a title going to Golden State, you're wondering, how is this team going to recover and perform? And just the job that Brad Stevens and Joe Mazulla have done is one of the more impressive things that I've ever seen. If Joe Mazulla doesn't win Coach of the Year, I think that's an absolute travesty. Obviously, there's some good candidates. The Pistons coach, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, JB Bickerstaff, I believe. The Spurs' new coach is doing a great job, Mitch Johnson. And you have a lot of good candidates this year. But the fact that this Celtics team, without Tatum for most of the season, now Jaylen Brown's missing games, you have these guys in and out of the lineup, and they're still 2.5 games ahead of the Knicks for the second seed in the Eastern Conference, and probably the favorites to win the Eastern Conference. To be honest with you, I'd be a little shocked if they didn't. Is so impressive. So Joe Mazulla absolutely has to be Coach of the Year. Brad Stevens, you could give him Executive of the Year a lot of times. He's been highly impressive. So tonight, Tatum had 32, Payton Prichard had 28, Baylor Shireman had 14 points, and that's another guy that coming into the year, did you know a lot about this player? Out of Creighton, he's 25 years old, and he's just been so good. He shoots the ball at a high clip off the bench. You have Jordan Walsh. He didn't play great tonight, but he's come in and really given you quality minutes. Sam Hauser, we know that he can shoot the crap out of the basketball. And Queta, who tonight had 17 points and 8 rebounds, but he was a guy that the Sacramento Kings, I believe it was the Kings, just got rid of. And the Celtics picked him up, and on the season he's averaging 10 points, 8 rebounds. And when they went and traded for Nikola Vucevic, you thought he was going to overtake that starting role. But the way that Queta's been playing, you almost kind of have to keep him in the lineup. So this Celtics team is really unbelievable to watch. We know Jaylen Brown has had an awesome season. He's probably going to be first team All-NBA, almost certainly in the MVP conversation. I just could not be more impressed and could not have been more wrong about what this team has done. And when you look at the potential contenders in the NBA this year, in my opinion, we talk about way too many teams as contenders for a championship. The Lakers are not going to win an NBA championship this year. The Nuggets seem like they have issues. They're not winning a title. In the Eastern Conference, especially if Cade Cunningham's out, I don't think the Knicks are consistent enough. Now, I know they bumped the Celtics out of the playoffs last year, but I would still pick the Celtics to come out of the East. The Cavs, we know James Harden's had some playoff woes. I'm not entirely sure what to make of them yet. They started hot, then it seemed like they were starting to struggle, and they've been a little better as of late. But all in all, this Celtics team, in my opinion, is on a list of 3 teams that can really win the NBA championship with the Thunder and the Spurs. And it's one of the most fun teams we've had to watch in a long time. Now, obviously, they've won titles. They won a title a few years ago, but man, there were times they were frustrating to watch. Sometimes the ball would stick. It felt like Tatum and Brown really had to develop as primary ball handlers, and I think it's something that they've both done a great job of, really helping their guys out and getting in the flow of the offense, not always looking for their own shot so aggressively. So this Celtics team is awesome. Joe Mazzulla's done a great job, and beating a Charlotte Hornets team that has been really good as of late is an impressive win. Now, I personally don't think any team with Lamelo Ball as your best player is a real contender, but the way that Kon Kneppeul and Brandon Miller have been playing, you start to feel like, hey, if LaMelo Ball is your third best player, maybe you're all right. Because I think he doesn't take the game seriously enough, in my opinion, to be the best player on a real team. But Kon Kneppeul, they held him to 13 points tonight, 1 of 6 from 3. Brandon Miller, 13 points, 3 and 9 from 3. And LaMelo Ball, 19 points on 7 of 19 from the field. So all of that will play, holding the Hornets to 99 points. I believe the Celtics are one of only, I want to say, 2 teams in the NBA that are top 5 or 10 in both offensive and defensive ratings. So they've been awesome this season. That's all we got for you in regards to right now. We're going to do some playoff previews here in a couple weeks. The playoffs are only a couple weeks out. So Make sure you strap in. If you love NBA content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Appreciate y'all watching. Cyborg out.